And welcome now, dear friends, to the Friday edition of Fresh Bread. Here it is now, Friday, February 24th, 2023. So glad you can join us. This is Reverend Phil Anderson here, pastor of Oakland United Methodist Church and Kansas Avenue United Methodist Church here in the capital city of good old T-Town, Topeka, Kansas. Again, Friday here, the end of the month almost, last Friday of February. I hope you're having a good week, and that we'll get ready now to see you on Sunday for a really great service we're planning on. That'll be Sunday, February the 26th at 9:30 a.m. at Oakland and at 11 a.m. at Kansas Avenue. Don't forget, we're showing the third season of The Chosen at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday at Kansas Avenue United Methodist Church, 1029 North Kansas Avenue. And then just stick around for church, and we would love to have you. Well, let's look at James chapter 1 here. We continue looking at James chapter 1. We'll read till the end of the chapter today, and we'll just kind of stop it at that point. Tomorrow we'll just kind of catch up on a few things going on at the church. And so today will be the last day of this week for Fresh Bread that we do actually look at the book of James. We were talking yesterday about every good gift and every perfect gift is from above. We thank God for His blessings to us. Let's look now over at 19 to 20. We didn't really get to talk about that yesterday. So then, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath, for the wrath of man does not produce the righteousness of God. You know, James really has a lot to say about the words that we use, doesn't he? He says, you know, in chapter 2, I believe, we can control every other thing in the world just about, but we can't control our tongue. Think how much problems come out of our mouth. You know, just we say the wrong thing or we defend ourselves, and now we've got a confrontation on our hands rather than just being quiet sometimes. So it says, my beloved brethren, to let everyone be swift to hear. So always be ready to hear, slow to speak. Don't be the first one to say something. You can be slow to speak. Slow to wrath. Don't get upset right away. And that the wrath of man does not produce the righteousness of God. Anger is a big problem for a lot of us. Some more than others, honestly. But we got to control our anger. I don't know, maybe I'm talking to you that you have an anger issue. Maybe you don't. Hope you don't. If you're tired, you're more prone to be angry. Get your nap, get your rest, stay away from people. If you're just having one of those days, just don't get involved with people. Be a step ahead. You know when somebody's going to push your buttons, be ready for it, and don't say a word. Pre-program yourself. I'm not going to say anything. Otherwise, you're just going to be like a lightning rod. Every time anybody wants to push your button, they do, and you just start getting upset and angry, and everything comes out of your mouth that you're thinking. Just keep it to yourself, and God will take care of it. So be very careful of the words that you use. Again, be swift to hear. Always be ready to listen. Be slow to speak. And then certainly be slow to be angry. Let's look at the rest of chapter 1 here in James. Therefore, lay aside all filthiness and overflow of wickedness, and receive with meekness the implanted word, which we are able to save your souls. Which is able to save your souls. But be doers of the word, not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. For if anyone is a hearer of the word, if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he's like a man observing his natural face in the mirror. For he observes himself, goes away, and immediately forgets what kind of man he was. But he who looks into the perfect law of liberty and continues in it, and is not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this one will be blessed in what he does. And let's continue to finish this off today from chapter 1. If anyone among you thinks he is religious and does not bridle his own tongue, but deceives his own heart, this one's religion is useless. Pure and undefiled religion before God and the Father is this: to visit orphans and widows in their trouble, and to keep oneself unspotted from the world. Well, that, friends, ends chapter 1 of James. We'll come back and look at a little bit of this, God willing, next week. Until then, have a great rest of your day here on Friday. Thank you again for joining us. We hope to have you back tomorrow for the weekend edition of Fresh Bread. Until then, take care. God bless you. We'll talk to you then.